Unleashed terror on a subway train in Brooklyn with a mass shooting. Tonight, 64-year-old James Frank sentenced to 10 life sentences, a life sentence for each of his victims, plus another 10 on a gun charge. Eyewitness News reporter NJ Burkett is live outside the courthouse in downtown Brooklyn with more. NJ?
That's right, Sade. Life in prison plus another 10 years. The judge in this case sending a powerful message after several of the victims, one after the other, got up and described their persistent nightmares and debilitating panic attacks, still struggling to understand this horrific crime.
For the victims, the life sentence closes another painful chapter in the story. But it's not over, and it may never be.
It really changed me a lot. It's really, I can't really explain.
It doesn't give you excuse because you have mental health issues to take out your pain and inflict it on other people.
It happened in April of last year. As the smoke-filled train rolled into the 36th Street station, it was pandemonium. Terrified riders ran for their lives. Others staggered from the subway car with bullet wounds and collapsed on the platform and lay bleeding. 10 were wounded. All survived. Frank James was arrested after a 36-hour manhunt. He later pleaded guilty, but insisted he never intended to kill anyone. He sat at the defense table today, seemingly unmoved, as several of the victims described the terror they felt. "No one could have stopped you. I have not been able to make sense of this." "That was a terrible, horrific incident," said another. "You caused harm to a multitude of people. You could have found help. You're a very sick man." Defense attorneys described James as a paranoid schizophrenic who was unable to find adequate treatment for much of his life. As for the victims, James said, quote, "They in no way deserve to have what happened to them." Then, referring to the mental health crisis in New York, he said, "It was my way of shining the light on certain conditions in the city in which I was raised." The judge would have none of that and imposed the maximum sentence, life in prison. Perfect justice, he said, would require a power that neither this judge nor any other judge has in his or her hands to impose. End quote.
Today's sentence sends a clear message to any would-be terrorist. If you plan to commit an act of violence, this office will aggressively pursue federal charges against you and prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law.
Well, the defense had requested a sentence of just 18 years in federal prison. Well, the judge hit back on that, saying, quote, "This methodical, calculated crime cannot be excused or explained away by mental illness." Live tonight, U.S. District Court in downtown Brooklyn. NJ Burkett, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Wow. All right, NJ, thank you. We're going to shift gears and go to the weather now. And boy, so beautiful outside. Look